Welcome to this month's bonus episode of Why Space.
Hey, y'all.
All right, so we're here with your September questions.
Oh, man.
And
these are fun ones.
These are some good ones. There's going to be some that I'm not really sure which direction we're going. So we're just going to have to hold tight. We also didn't talk about the order in which we were going to go. So I'm just going to go down the list.
I like it.
So the first question is from Bryant, and he said, you've mentioned Barstool in passing before. Are y'all fans? And again, with the multi-part questions, of course.
You guys nailed it.
We can't judge because when y'all ask us a top favorite, I have 14. So he said, are y'all fans, and why is Dave Portnoy so successful? I'll let you begin.
I don't know if I could say I'm a fan because I don't really follow all of the Barstool and the different podcasts and things in it. I don't even know that I follow Dave. I'm fascinated by people like him with their business acumen. That man has done real well for himself at Barstool. Yeah. And I think that the reason he's so successful is because he takes risks, but I think he understands the full industry, kind of like Pat McAfee does. You fully get how the revenue here is working, and what parts can I sell to you? What parts can I sign in a contract? So I'm always fascinated with just how ingrained into his businesses that he is. But he has his hand in so many different podcasts that he gets a piece of each one of their revenue streams that comes in. But again, we've always talked about doing a deep dive on him. I don't know all the details of him and where he came from. It's just once Barstool came big, it was oh, it's Dave Portnoy. But I have no idea where he came from.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I was going to mention, that we've talked about doing a deep dive. And we have a couple of questions in the DMs about Barstool and Dave. So we'll add it to our list of things we're going to get to. Same in that I don't know the origin stories of Dave Portnoy. I don't even really know when he came into my view. It's kind of like he's just been there. I did see a video the other day that I thought was really interesting. I had just on the peripheral heard the whole he had sold Barstool and then he bought it back for $1, and I never knew what that story was, and I don't know that I know the whole thing yet, but I saw a clip on TikTok where I get all my news, where he was saying that people freaked out about it, how could he buy this multi-million-dollar company back for just $1? And it really had to do with the fact that the company was failing. They were spending they were losing $200,000 to $300,000 a month. And so from an outside business perspective, he was a bank would say stay away. This is a bad deal. And he was that's how I got it for $1, because nobody would touch it. It was a single ship. And so, I would say from a business perspective, the dude's a freaking genius.
Seriously.
But I don't know the origin stories, but I think it all started with gambling, right? Barstool used to be a gambling thing.
I feel that seems accurate because listen, he's real good at gambling.
Yeah. Listen, that's what I was going to say. I need to be besties with him. My best friend's husband is the same way with craps. If she wants a new couch, she sends him to New Orleans and we're good. So awesome. I don't think I know enough. Now, here's my problem with Barstool. I don't know what all is Barstool now and what all is not. Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy, she used to be with Barstool.
Right.
But she's not, and I know she's not now.
Right.
There was beef, but now they're good. I don't know. But then there's other people that I don't know that I do like. I don't know if they're still with Barstool. Had I done my research, I would already know this answer. But Kelly Keegs from Taylor Watch show.
Yeah.
I think they're still with Barstool.
I think so.
Then I think there may be drama. I don't know. So I like Kelly Keegs. I love Taylor Watch. I love that Dave loves Taylor. I love that he loves Caitlin Clark. And so he's really done a lot to promote women's basketball.
Yeah.
I do not like fried chicken, whatever.
No.
We all know that we don't like Brianna on this show. So whatever. I like the other guy on the BFF's podcast, Josh Richards. I like him. I don't know who he is. I just think he's funny.
I don't think he ever comes across my feed.
And then I cannot stand the Plan Bree show because I think she and Grace are grate on my nerves.
Relationship, yeah.
So, but then I like Bussin' with the Boys, which I guess is Barstool.
That is still Barstool, yes.
So I think the thing is that there's like 487 shows on Barstool, and I know of like 2 that I like. So,
but it's like he finds these podcasts like right as before they're gonna really take off, and he signs them, he gets them a bigger audience, and then they blow up. And then financially, you've set yourself up really well for that. I don't know how he finds that talent though.
yeah.
Is he peeping on our show? Maybe he should peep over this way.
Listen, Dave, if you're watching, we're in.
Right.
Because I think that it seems to me that's what he's trying to do now, and trying very successfully. He's almost like becoming like a Wondery, or like one of those like networks that houses all these shows, and which is smart business. So we'll add it to the list of deep dives. I like Dave Portnoy from what I know. I don't know if that's controversial, but there are a lot of people at Barstool that I do not like. So
maybe we could do a deep dive on him after football season, when it's kind of like that lull time.
Yeah. In our sadness. That's what we'll do in our depression. That's a good idea. From Michelle, Kiss, Marry, Kill. I also think it's funny that we get a lot of these Kiss, Marry, Kills now. Okay, so she asked Kiss, Marry, Kill, Erin Andrews, Samantha Ponder, and Carissa Thompson, and why? This was a hard one.
It was. When I read the question, when I was prepping my notes, I was like, this is almost impossible. Could we do attempted murder instead of kill?
Could we do like Kiss, Marry, like side piece or something?
Right. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, I would never want to kill any of these 3. I love all 3 of them, but I do have answers. What'd you go?
I do too. So I went Kiss, Samantha Ponder. She's just one of the OGs that kind of one of the first ones that I started watching and following. Mm-hmm. So I went Kiss on that one. Marry, Erin Andrews. She is that was my all-time favorite. I love her. She is my favorite to watch on the sidelines because she doesn't ask dumb questions. Yeah. Sometimes the sideline reporters just ask the coaches like, well, what was the problem there with Jalen? And the coach is like, well, I threw an interception. Well, no, like,
yeah. What happened? Well, I threw the ball to the wrong team. So,
right. So she's great at sideline. She's incredible at the one-on-one like specials with players. I feel like she just does such good research to ask questions. So I went Marry on that one. And then since we have to kill somebody, Carissa was all that's left. And I think out of the 3, she's the newest to me. I only met her through Thursday Night Football and then the podcast with Erin.
Yeah.
So that was my logic on it. I don't love what happened.
I'm glad this is just in theory, is what I'll say. I had the exact same answers. I was going to point out, too, though, the story that I sent you this week about the Aaron Rodgers, Carissa Thompson beef.
Yes.
I guess he, like, refused an interview with her.
So it looks like he had answered some questions on, like, the sideline. And so he just didn't feel like he needed potentially to go to the table and talk. It wasn't necessarily just with her. It was with the whole group of analysts for Thursday night. I did, and I think I sent it to you, but it was a thing where Erin was like, I had taken a screenshot of that article on her stories on Instagram and typed like, context is really important here, that she was laughing while she was saying it. And like, it wasn't that serious. So.
Well, I didn't need another reason to dislike him, but it just.
Right, but it added. Listen, I'm still going to dislike you because of it.
Yeah. I went kill with Carissa. Just for me, honestly, I don't know. You know, on Thursday nights, we have options of what we watch. And so sometimes I watch the main and cast, but sometimes they talk way too much. And then sometimes I watch like the truth stuff. And so I think I like kind of totally missed her for a while on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
And so it really was her show, the Calm Down podcast with Erin, that made me like, oh, I really like her, and then kind of follow her. Mm-hmm. And then, Samantha Ponder, I think I cannot believe that she doesn't have a job yet.
Isn't that crazy? Somebody pick her up. Her and RG3, pick them up.
Like, good Lord. Maybe Dave Portnoy should call her. I don't know.
Somebody.
But yeah, and then Erin Andrews is just, I mean, she's in that upper echelon of like the Kylie Kelseys and Taylors and Blake Lively's.
Yes.
Like she's
just a very normal person for an extraordinary job that she does.
Yeah. I would love to talk to her one day. That would be amazing. But quit making us kill people that we like. Okay. From Buddy, rank your top 5 songs released so far in 2024. No, for the audio. There were 3 songs that I originally had on here that I thought were from 2024. And then I was like, I just need to double check myself. They were from 2022.
Okay.
I was 2 years off. I don't know what happened. But anyway, did you come up with 5?
I did come up with 5, and I had to Google 2024 songs because I was afraid I was going to pick some that actually came out in 2023.
Well, if you were going to pick Stick Season by Noah Kahan, it was 2022.
I was for sure never going to pick that song.
Well, of course. Go ahead. What Dan and Shay song do we have for today?
Listen, they haven't released anything new this year. I double checked.
Okay, got it.
I did not put these in order because I do not want to be held to this one's better than this because. So I went Beautiful Things, Benson Boone.
Okay.
That was such a great one. High Road, Co Wetzel. Do you think I've talked about that song on here before?
Yeah.
No Hard Feelings, Old Dominion. That one's a newer one and real good. Lose Control, Teddy Swims. And then this one shocked me a little bit when I was going through which Taylor Swift song I really liked this year. But I went with I'm Gonna Get You Back. It was a toss-up between that one and But Daddy, I Love Him.
Hey, I love him. Yeah.
I know.
Okay, before I answer, do you think I have more than one Taylor song on my top 5?
I'm gonna say you only did one and that you spread out your options.
I did. I could have done at least.
Look at us growing, evolving.
No, we are not a one trick pony.
There you go.
Wow. I could have picked 3 from there, and I did at first, and I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. The Teddy Swim song was one that I debated on.
Yeah.
Okay, but I had But Daddy, I Love Him. I apologize. The baby chipmunk is right here by the window. Bobo is beside himself. And if you've never seen a baby chipmunk, it is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Precious.
And we have a whole little family.
Okay.
Okay, But Daddy, I Love Him. Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh, I debated that one.
Beautiful Things by Benson Boone. Us by Gracie and Taylor. So I did have 2 Taylor, but I had to have Gracie. So
right.
And then again, I've talked about it on here, and I don't have a daughter. I am a daughter, but the song Yours by Post Malone puts me in the feels. Yes. It is so good.
Yep. That's a good one. Yeah, I did have Us by Gracie as like an honorable mention.
Yeah. The Teddy Swims Lose Control is my honorable.
Yeah. Those were good.
Yeah.
So much music come out in 2024.
And here's the thing, like I did the same thing that you did. I Googled like the songs that have come out, and I know like Sabrina Carpenter's been like the top of a lot of things, and I love Sabrina Carpenter, but I think I love Sabrina Carpenter. I don't think I love her like songs.
That's fair.
But I love her, and I want to see her succeed, and I hope she wins lots of awards. But like Espresso's not like really my jam. I mean,
I think it's one of those, like when it comes on, it's a good bop, and I'm going to listen to it and sing it in the car, but I'm not specifically going to search to play that one when I'm doing my music.
This may sound weird, but I feel too old to like her music.
No, I feel like you and I have really entered we're too old for this era.
Wow. And it came on quick. It
did. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah. Maybe I'm going to force myself to like more of it. Yeah. Stay young and hip. Okay, from Claire. Oh, the baby chip just flew by. From Claire, what is one business venture that she hasn't done yet that you'd like to see Blake Lively do? Great question.
That was a good question.
Working with us.
Right.
What did you come up with?
That's her business venture.
There you go.
Work with us. So do you remember the outfit that Blake wore at the Super Bowl? The red Adidas jumpsuit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loved that. Okay. So I really appreciate when people come out with some kind of line or clothing of some sort where it's just normal, but like you look good. Yeah. I wear sweats, t-shirt, leggings, jeans pretty much every day of the week because I work from home. So I want her to come out with like an everyday mom line. Don't be weird about it. Don't do barrel jeans and like these weird funky cardigans to try and make me look hip. That's not what I want. Yeah. I want her to do like her normal everyday look, but come out with a line for it. Because when you just see like snapshots of her in New York or when she does some of those events with friends, like she just looks cute, but it's an outfit that I'm like, that would actually be comfortable to wear out. I don't want to wear stilettos and a mini skirt when I'm going out with the girls. It's not happening.
It's not happening. That's a really good one. I hadn't thought of that, but mine's somewhat in the same vein. So, if you follow anything with Blake, you know that she's like very into like home decor kind of stuff.
Yes.
And here's the thing. I think that she has done stuff previously in the home decor space, but
Okay.
typically when any of these people do stuff, it is in the price point that I am not a resident of.
Right. Listen.
So
Not
I
happening.
wanted her to come out with a Target line of homeware because I feel like I can afford Target, and she's already working with them with the hair products.
Right. Why not add to it?
So, yeah, because I love her style, but again, like, can she replicate that in my budget? I don't know, but
Right. I think it would be a great venture for her to try.
I mean, I think it's a great idea. I can help do whatever she needs. So I can say like, hey, that's super cute, but that is still too expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring that down a couple of zeros and we'll talk.
But I think she and Ryan, whatever they touch seems to turn to gold. So
true. They're really good at investments.
Yeah. Okay. From Doris, what 3 celebrities would you like to see start a podcast together or separately? And I was kind of confused here. I'm assuming you meant like together, like all 3 together, or like 3 different shows.
That's how I took it.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
What do you have?
I also didn't stick with 3 because we don't like being confined. So I would love to have a podcast where Princess Catherine does one either with her sister or her mom.
Oh.
You could do one on parenting, party planning. Her parents used to own a party company, but like one where she could talk about gardening, cooking. She likes to do all those things, but one that it's just a little bit more laid back and it has literally nothing to do with your royal life. Okay. Because I've seen her on Mike Tyndall's podcast before.
Yeah.
Yes. And she just seems so fun. And I'm like, that would be a really cool, just different side of her to see.
Yeah.
So I think that one would be fun. I think one with JJ Watt and his brothers would be really good.
Be fun. Okay.
So one of those.
Okay. I feel like that's only 2. Oh, I guess because you need multiple people.
I also did another one that I don't know if I want to say. I don't know if it's good.
I think we need to hear. Go ahead and tell us what it is.
Martin Short, Selena Gomez, and Steve Martin. They're hilarious together. Like when you see them kind of doing the media circuit to promote their show, it's like the gay dads that adopted the daughter, and she's got to teach them all about life in this year 2024. They're just so funny together.
Okay, yeah, I like that one. That's funny. Well, it's funny because I actually picked Selena as one of my answers.
Oh, did you?
Because I feel like she could have one of those multifaceted shows. You know, she could have people on to talk about mental health, beauty products, acting, singing, just everything she does. So I had Selena. Actually had Ryan Reynolds because same again could be super multifaceted. Why do you look so
Actually, I'm surprised he doesn't have one.
Oh,
I was like, wait, he doesn't have one? I feel like he does everything.
So for the audio, you looked super confused. And I like had this like panic inside. Did I say the wrong name? Is she having one of those blackout moments and she doesn't know who that is? A lot of things were happening and I was so scared.
Sorry. Woo! Very judgmental face. It's just what I was born with.
Okay, so this is still a good idea, no matter what just happened. But like I think he could do again, kind of like Selena, like the business stuff, acting world, like parenting. I just think it would be super interesting. I also think it would be fun if he and Hugh Jackman hosted it together because they're
really good.
Again, I apologize. I don't know what the chipmunks are doing today, but Bo may throw himself through the front window. I don't know. And then the third one is actually very timely because of some news that came out today. I picked Hoda Kotb, and she announced today that she's leaving the Today Show, which is shocking to me. And I hope it really is like everything's fine and it's just to spend time with her kids. But I think she's such a good interviewer. I think it would be great. I think it would be fun if she and Savannah and Jenna had a show together. But I feel like that's a lot of people in a show.
Yeah.
And a lot of
she has a podcast currently.
Who? Hoda?
But it's by herself. And it's not like I don't think it's a weekly one. I think it's like maybe 2 episodes a month, something like that.
Oh, well, here, clearly we need to do a little work on it. The other honorable mention I had, and I don't know how this would go over because he is quirky And I feel like sometimes in a podcast, that could probably come across real weird. But I think Jack Antonoff would be a really interesting one, because if you listen to interviews with him, again, you have to take into account he's very quirky.
Yes.
But brilliant when it comes to what he does. And so I think it'd be really cool. And he works with so many different types of artists. I think it would be really cool to see him interview them. But again, I don't know how that would come across just listening.
I don't know that it would be like a mainstream podcast, but it would be very fascinating, because it's not often that you kind of get a look behind the curtain on that kind of music.
And maybe people aren't as intrigued by that as I am. And I mean, I'm not musical at all, but I love when he does interviews and it kind of explains. I saw him on something the other day on TikTok, and I was like so fascinated by the way he was explaining when he hears a lyric and how he knows what to put with it. I was like,
yeah.
whoa.
So anyway. Their brains work. That'd be a good one. I like that.
Okay. I feel like I already know what you're going to say to this one. From Darby, which celebrity couple are you the saddest to have seen break up?
Because it's going to be Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt.
You at least have a different option too.
I do have some other ones.
Okay. Who are some of your options? I knew that was it, but
I just don't like that you judged that first one. It's fine. I remember being super sad when Britney and Justin Timberlake broke up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was devastating for all of us involved.
Yeah. It was a rough one.
Yeah. I don't know that either of them ever fully recovered from that.
Yeah.
Also, for some reason, Vanessa Hudgens and Zac Efron, I just feel like they should have lasted. They were.
Well, and he hasn't really bounced back.
No, she has. She's happily married. She has a baby now.
Yep.
But it was still sad times for all of us.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Who'd you put?
Listen,
The chipmunks and the dog?
Holy moly, it is intense today. Okay. I think this may surprise you. I said Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick.
That's actually a good one. They were good for each other.
I really liked them together, and I really felt like she got so weird when she got with Travis Barker, and she is like really in that goth, like, I hate the world. Like, she's like hates the family and all that. I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I feel like Scott has really done a lot of work on himself. So
that's a good one.
And then this is going to be controversial.
Okay.
Listen, Kanye and Kim. And I know this is controversial because we don't like either one of them. And I get it. No. I'm fully on board. But I worry about the mental health of people. And I really feel like he is on a trajectory that is not healthy, but is also unfortunately influencing North to be on a trajectory that is not healthy. And I think if they were together, it would be better, even though they did mean things together to people that we love. But I worry about that.
They were a little bit more tame.
Yeah. And I don't know.
It
worries me, but I'm going to stick with my first answer because I know that's less controversial.
It is. And I liked that one. Okay.
I can tell you loved the second option. Okay. From Kyle, who are your top 5 running backs in the NFL today, excluding CMC or Christian McCaffrey?
Which I appreciate that you put that because, I wasn't going to include him anyway.
Which is absurd, but yes, I did know that. Go ahead, though.
Off season, going into the season, I said that's not the one to pick. And so far, I have been correct. So,
yikes. Yeah, not looking good.
Yeah. Again, I didn't put these in order, but these were the ones that I went with. Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
He's having a good season. Even though he dropped that third down pass in week 2, I feel like he's even come back with more of a force just to be like not making that mistake again. Yeah. So he's done really well. Alvin Kamara killing it in New Orleans.
I know.
So hopefully he's not injured and we're good.
Yeah, just
get him back.
Little rib hip action going on. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Derrick Henry. Listen, if Harbaugh puts him in on enough plays, he's gonna dominate. That's what he does. James Cook for the Bills. He's kind of been both dynamic in the run game and the pass game this year.
I know.
And then I did Jonathan Taylor with the Colts. I think it's a little hard to evaluate because they're 1-2 right now. But he is turning his catches into yardage that he gets. So that's why I went with that. I didn't pick anybody on the Chiefs because Carson Steele just started and my other guys were injured. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I shouldn't have then because I picked Pacheco. I mean, he's hurt, but I love him. So I had Alvin Kamara as well. I'm hoping he bounces back. I think this is a good redemption season for him too because he'd kind of fallen off a bit. But so did the Saints in general. So,
but he and Carr apparently made up. So
yeah, I have Saquon Barkley as well. I just think that he was so dominant, and then the ACL, and then you're stuck in New York, and I think he's a great fit in Philadelphia, though.
Yes.
I also had Derrick Henry, which I know makes you very happy.
Look at you.
I know. And then I kind of have a twofer on my last one because I couldn't really decide. J.K. Dobbins from the Chargers and Josh Jacobs from the Packers.
Okay.
The only thing is I do have a little beef with Josh Jacobs because he said that he picked going to the Packers over coming to the Chiefs because he had a certain amount of hate for the Chiefs.
We don't love that, sir.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, I would hate to have to wear a Super Bowl ring too. That would be terrible. But
God, it's so heavy.
Yeah. I mean, gosh. But they're both having really good seasons. And J.K. Dobbins was like somebody people were really writing off. So I got him a steal of a deal in one of my drafts, and that's working out real well for me. So
Nice.
I had another honorable mention for Joe Mixon. I was real confused when the Bengals traded him to the Texans. I didn't really understand why they did that. They're probably still confused as to why they did that too. Seems
I was
like
going to say there was a lot of off-season changes that none of us understood.
Yeah, but I like him. I like the way he runs. James Cook is a good one though. I hadn't thought of that. Okay, from Jim. Who poses the biggest threat to the Chiefs reaching the Super Bowl again?
So for this one, I went just basing it off of the 3 weeks that we've seen and who's doing really well. I think the Bills might be their biggest threat this year.
Yeah, that's
I mean, heck of a season so far. Obviously, we're early in the season. So many things can change. But if we're looking at it right now, I think they're going to give them a run. And if the offense on the Chiefs doesn't clean up and that defense doesn't tighten up until it's like necessary, Bills have a real good shot to beat them.
You know, I went with the Bills too, and I'm always leery about doing that because Josh Allen has a history of not delivering in the big game. But I've always felt like he was finally going to get it quicker than I've felt like that about Lamar. Like Lamar never delivers.
Yes.
But I've always felt like eventually it's going to click for Josh. I saw an interview yesterday where he was like, y'all, you keep trying to ask me about 14, meaning Stephon Diggs. And he was like, we're fine. Like, I'm sure he's so tired of that question. But I will say, I noticed like clips from their game, like when Mr. Brightside came on towards the end of the game, and like all the players were like dancing. They kind of had that happy, like familial vibe that they have at Arrowhead with the Chiefs. And I think that goes a long way.
Yep. Always said that. That makes a difference.
Again, I think it just right now, this season, it comes down to whoever can stay healthy.
Seriously.
I don't know what is in the water, but it must not be good for your bones. Is all I
don't even know if last year, once we got closer to the playoffs, if we had this many injuries, but it's like, it's not even one or two big names on a team. It's like 4 or 5.
Like, I don't know if Brock Purdy needs me to suit up this weekend. Like, I'm telling you, people are
at this point, Kyle Shanahan's going to have to put a helmet on and get out there and do something. We got to
crazy. And I mean, losing Pacheco sucks. Hollywood sucks. I just hope we can call it good there and like let's not have anything else.
Nobody else can go out.
All right. So this one, I really struggle with this one. From Mike, who is the next tight end GOAT once Travis history? Which, by the way, I did not like the way that you worded this, sir. It used to be Tony Gonzalez for me, and then it became Travis. Who's next?
I mean, Tony Gonzalez was a great tight end.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're going to say.
I mean, I did a couple. I think Sam Laporte has some potential to really step up. I'll be interested to see how he plays the next couple of weeks.
If he can, he's hurt.
I know. Oh, listen, Dallas Goedert, and I even said it last year, I think he's underrated. I think he's really good. And listen, he's great at tackles when Jalen throws those interceptions. So you really need him. You really need him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then Jake Ferguson, if Dak can pull it together, Jake does something every time you get him the ball. Yeah. So I think that there's going to be, once Travis retires and he's out of the league, these guys might still have a couple of years left in them. So I do think that there's going to be some potential for more of these tight ends to step up and get a little bit more of a spotlight.
So I struggled with this question, first of all, based on the wording. We don't need to say history. But I struggled with this because, first of all, you referenced Tony Gonzalez, who is arguably one of the greatest of all time, too. And I do think Trav has kind of taken that realm now.
Yeah.
Every name I came up with, I'm like, they don't have that like larger than life persona that both Tony and Travis have.
That is true.
Or like Gronk had. Like,
yeah.
I have a bunch of names written down, but I'm like, there's more to why they're the GOAT than just like what they do on the field. So I struggled so bad with this. I am still wondering about Sam Laporta. I drafted him because Travis said to, and then the dude got hurt, and he's done nothing before that. So I don't know what we're dealing with, but he believes in him. So Dalton Kincaid from the Bills, I'm interested to see, but they have Dawson Knox too. So that's like a weird, like, can you have two? I don't know. I wrote down George Kittle. George Kittle to me will never get to the Travis level. Like, will he have high numbers? Sure.
Yeah.
He's again, and then I wrote down Mark Andrews too, but like he's really fallen off this season. And he has like zero personality.
Yes. See, and I went more like the football route, but you're right. None of them really have the football and the personality.
Yeah. And then like the one that people have compared him a lot to is Brock Bowers with the Raiders, who I know is having a pretty decent season, but I think it's way too early to say if he could be.
Yeah, the next.
And I just think the tight end position, again, we talked about it with all the conversations around Trav right now. Like it's not just about scoring the touchdowns. There's so much more to it. Yes. And I don't know that any of the ones that we've come up with do what he does on the field as well as he does either.
Yeah. I also think that that's a prevalent thing that we're seeing this season with all tight ends across the league. They're not really getting the plays. I feel like the receivers and the running backs have really been spread out. So we're seeing the tight ends kind of do a different aspect of their job that they've always done, but this time it's taken a little bit more of a front seat.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and call it, though, that I think Trav's going to get a touchdown this weekend.
Okay.
I think that they're all just sick and tired of all the questions.
Yes.
And so whether he has to
plow through some people, I guarantee it. He's mad.
I think he will throw his whole body on it.
Right.
I just believe it.
Yeah.
Okay. From Pilar, what's a good starter pack of 3 to 4 Hallmark movies to try and get my husband on board with their content? Now, first of all, this question was not intended for both of us. Obviously, I felt very excluded. And then second of all, I would just like to say that I don't think no matter what Becca tells you right now, you're going to be able to get your husband on board with this content.
Listen, that feels like a large statement to make.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let Becca answer, and then I do have answers prepared, but I'm going to let her go ahead.
Thank you. Here's the thing. With the Hallmark movies and your husband, I don't think it's going to be one of those things where once we hit October and there's a new movie a couple times every weekend, that he's going to be like, hey, let's go sit on the couch and watch these. Like, he's not going to do that. But there are going to be ones that come out that you can get him on board where he'll at least sit and watch. So one of the things that I like that Hallmark does is they do put out enough movies that have like a sport bat theme to it that I think you can kind of pull him in on. So that's good. One that has not come out, but get him on board with is the Holiday Touchdown, A Chiefs Love Story. That one comes out November 30th. This is not a plug. Hallmark is not paying us any American dollars, but
we'll take them when they do, though.
That one's going to be really good. So I would definitely have him watch that with you. That might pull him in. There's another one. There's called Taking a Shot at Love. It's got a hockey story background with a ballet dancer. He gets injured. She is part of his physical therapy where he has to do ballet lessons. It's really good, but it has enough like the manly sport thing in it that it doesn't feel like just a love story. So that one's good.
Okay.
There's one called Love on the Right Course, which is a golf themed one. That one's actually really good. I enjoy that. It's a female professional golfer that comes home. Her father owns a golf course. The pro that runs the golf course. I think that one came out last year. I tried to stick to some newer ones.
Well, that
So
sounds interesting to me, actually.
listen, I think you would actually enjoy that
Okay.
one.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
I might get Mandy into a Hallmark movie after all.
I'm going to watch the Chief's love story for sure.
Yes. There's another one called A Picture of Her. It's not a sport one, but it's one that when I watched it, I was like, this is actually just a genuinely good movie. But it's a photographer that he is out taking random pictures, and he snaps a picture of this woman that's at market picking up flowers and stuff. And he sends it to his publisher under an anonymous name because he never publishes his real name. They end up putting it on a magazine cover. It goes viral. Nobody knows who this woman is. Well, he actually meets her at like a dog park, and they hit it off right before it goes viral. And so then you kind of see him try and navigate that because he falls in love with her, obviously. So that one's fantastic.
The chipmunks just took my computer with me.
Oh my gosh, that was fantastic. And then I did one that's a Christmas one that's called Three Wise Men and a Baby. It has Tyler Hynes. Now listen, if you are looking like randomly, if you don't go with these movies and you just randomly start looking at Hallmark movies, look up Tyler Hynes and see which movies he's in. I always feel like his Hallmark movies are the best because they're the least corniest ones of them all. Like he seems like a legit actor, and I don't want to put down any Hallmark actors because I really do enjoy them. But his stuff always seems like they probably put a little bit more into the budget for him. But he's in Three Wise Men and a Baby, and it's 3 adult brothers that all live at home. Like one's building a house. There's different storylines of why they live at home. Like it doesn't seem like they're too terribly desperate. But one is a firefighter, and a baby gets dropped off at the fire station with a note on it to this specific brother and says, "Can you please watch him? I'll be back at Christmas." So you get to watch these guys kind of like navigate parenting this baby for a few weeks. But it's just really funny, and it doesn't have as much of a love story to it. There's still a love story in there. But so I think maybe you could pull your husband in on that one because it's not, really cheesy. So there's really good options. I think that Mandy could also really get into this.
I'm interested in the golf one.
That one was really good. I just watched that one, I think, earlier this year.
So again, this question was not intended for me. But what I did was some research because I thought to myself, what movie would make me want to try a Hallmark movie?
Okay.
And I have found some that I have found a couple that I'm going to bring up, and we're going to see if you've seen them, which is probably likely. But Love on the Sidelines.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Okay, so this is like a fashion designer. She becomes a personal assistant to a famous quarterback recovering from an injury. Of course, they fall in love because that's all they do in these movies. That sounded intriguing to me because we love the fashion industry, but we also love the football.
Yes.
One of the things I struggled with was Candace Cameron Bure. She appears to be in so many of them, and I am really turned off by her.
So she is no longer with Hallmark. She does not do Hallmark movies anymore. Yes. Okay. I will say if she's in one, it's probably one I'm probably going to skip.
Okay. That's good to know. Now, someone I do like that if I see that she's in a movie, I'm more intrigued is Lori Loughlin. Is she still there?
So she has not done one in several years.
Well, she had a bit of time in the slammer.
She did. She had a little bit of time where she was out of pocket. I want to say that I heard I can't remember if she's going to do one this year for Hallmark or if she's moved to GAC, which a lot of the Hallmark actors went over there. But I think she's back at Hallmark.
Okay. Now, this next one I found that I was intrigued by also has someone that usually turns me off, and that's Lacey
Chabert.
Yeah. She something bothers me about her. This is like called All of My Heart. Young caterer inherits this country home.
Yes.
Okay. I enjoy that kind of thing. Like there is a reality show on HGTV, I think, that's about this restaurant that's in a renovated country home in Maine. And you like have to send a postcard to get a reservation.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, is it like that? So I was interested in that. And then there was one called Autumn Dreams that I was interested in. And it was like these 2 people had made all these plans to elope and move to the big city, but then their parents like annulled it or so they thought. And then it's like 15 years later and they find each other again and find out that it wasn't really annulled. It just
Yes.
sounds intriguing.
That one's really good. I think Jill Wagner is the female character in that one.
It's really sad that you
Really
knew
good.
that. That
There's
scares
well,
me.
because there's like a handful that are in all of them.
Well, I was going to say, I noticed that in several that I picked, a gentleman named, what is it, Brennan Elliott?
Yes.
He's in
he's
quite a
all
bit of them. So that's my contribution to the question. But I'm going to check out the golf one.
You did really good on those. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
The ones that you picked are actually really good ones.
Well, see, I know what I'm talking about, even though I don't watch them. Okay, from Jennifer, what are your top 5 favorite things about Taylor Swift's music?
Listen, that was kind of a tough one when you're like, what are your favorite things about somebody's music instead of like, what are your favorite songs or favorite albums or favorite tours?
Right.
This we got to put some thought into.
Yeah. What'd you come up with?
I love that her music, there's a different like vibe or style for whatever mood you're in. Like you don't have to switch to a different artist. She kind of covers the gamut for you. So I love that. I love her songwriting. I think that she has such a way with words to convey a feeling or a situation or a period in your life to where it's just so good. You're like, oh, I would have never thought to like compare those two things and make it about this certain feeling or whatever. So I like that. I like the relatability and vulnerability in her music. I think a lot of times artists sing songs or write songs that they're like, what's going to appeal to the masses instead of just being genuine and true. And I feel like she's just done so well being relatable and vulnerable in her music that it draws in more people than just trying to get something that's catchy on the radio. The other thing, I like the insane amount of catalog that you have to choose from.
Yeah.
If I want to listen to something because I'm in a bad mood, I can turn on Reputation. If I'm, having a good day and want to bebop, it's 1989. Like you just do whatever. So I like that. And then I like that a lot of her songs are catchy, but they're not cheesy. Like there's enough of those catchy ones that like you can play them in the car, you can play them at the house. So that's kind of what I want with.
Yeah, those are really good ones. I mean, and mine are similar. The writing lyricist part of who Taylor is, like, yes, there's Easter eggs and all of it. And I find that super interesting. And that is one of the things I like. But also, like, she's so well read and well versed in, like, Greek mythology, poetry, like all these different things that she calls on all this stuff that, like, to me is just like way deeper than most people come up with. I called this the duality of meaning.
Okay.
Like that made me sound smart too.
It does.
But like, the thing that we talk about all the time that she says in the show, like, these songs mean whatever to you. They meant, take it for what it means to you. And I think that that's super important with her music because so it is all about her life. And so like, she might have a song that was about when she dated Joe Jonas, which was 18 years ago, but she can still perform it. It's still relevant. People still love it because it's like, it means so many different things to so many different people.
Yes.
And it's not like there's often times where artists will put out a song that's very deeply personal and it's about like one person. And they end up either like changing the lyrics because they don't want it to be, whatever. And all this time has passed, or they just stop performing it.
Yeah.
And I like that she's like, no, it's just a part of my life, So
that's good.
Duality and meaning. I like that.
Look at you.
The genuine like honesty in her lyrics, the vulnerability of it, like,
yes,
she has joked before, like you don't go into dating Taylor Swift and think you're not going to make it into a song. Like, and it's because she truly puts it all out there. And I know that annoys some people, but I actually really like that. And I like that it's like she's not just trying to come up with something catchy to put on the radio. Like this is just her like pouring everything into lyrics.
Yeah. I think that's what makes it such a good song too, is because it's personal to her. She already knows every aspect of the feeling and the situation. Yeah.
I like her partnerships. Like obviously I love when she works with Jack Antonoff. I love when she works with Aaron Dessner. I love when she works with Kendrick Lamar, Gracie, like all the people that she collabs with. It appears to be, she's very particular about who she will collab with, which there are other people who will literally collab with like anyone that calls.
Yeah.
But I think it's really interesting to see like, and you always like instantly, I mean,
They saw the chipmunk.
yeah, all are fans too. But you kind of already know, like if you find out she's got an album coming out and you hear that Aaron Dessner is one of the producers, you kind of know you're going to get some of that like indie, like
Yes.
real sad vibe. And then, you know, if you hear Jack is on it, you know you're going to get some synth kind of stuff going on. So I like that she diversifies who she works with to come through and however she's wanting to present that album.
Good.
And then I was talking about the variability of her songs because to your point, like Bad Day, it's rep. If I'm in a really good mood, it is 1989. But it's like we were talking about with Sabrina Carpenter, like she's kind of like owned the summer of pop music with things like Espresso and Please, Please, Please. But it's like we were saying we feel a little too old for her music.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe it is because Taylor is closer to us in age, but I don't feel like her songs give people that feeling because there's people that are 90 years old and people that are 10. And so, and then I think it's just like she said in the Who's Afraid of Little Me, she puts narcotics in all of her songs.
That's right.
I mean,
you're just going to like it all.
Yeah.
Oh, those are really good.
But yeah, that's
look at us.
Look at us. We're under an hour. We answered your questions for the month.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? We appreciate the questions. Keep them coming. Yes. Let's just not call Trav history and any further questions, please.
Right. It really throws Mandy off.
Yeah, please don't do that again. But thanks for listening. Make sure you're following us so you know when these bonus episodes come out. And thanks for listening.
Bye, y'all.